everyone, thanks for joining me today. I have a shadow box project to share with you, and this is very dimensional, and if you stay tuned till the end of the video, I will have a tutorial on how to make the shadow box. So I used a few items to make this card, and one of them was this stamp that I found at a yard sale ages and ages ago, so it was time to use it since I've gotten a little bit better at my coloring, and I think it turned out pretty cute. And this is what I used to color the scarecrow. This is one of the pumpkins that I used on the front, and this is available at Michael's now. And then I also used one of the leaf dies from Tuesday Morning, and yes, I'm finally able to use some of my dies that I got at Tuesday Morning. The fence is also a die from Tuesday Morning, so I'll bring it in a little bit closer so you can get a view of that scarecrow. He is really scary. I love his shoes. They're kind of hidden back there, but I'll give you a peek at what his shoes look like. They're pretty ratty, which ties in with the rest of his outfit. The leaves, I used the Distress inks to color those. I used just plain watercolor paper, and this is what I used to stamp the image. I did heat emboss it first and then colored it. I used the Distress inks on the back, the background in the purples and green tones. On the front here I had these two little leaves that I added to each of the pumpkins on each side, or one of the pumpkins on each side, and then trimmed it with a small orange bow. So I'm going to go ahead and pause for a little bit, and I'm going to show you how I constructed the shadow box. So now what we're going to do is get our 12 by 12 cardstock, and this is a heavy cardstock. This works the best because it gives it a nice sturdy finish. We're going to score on all four sides these dimensions here. Excuse me. So we're going to score at 3/4 of an inch, 1 1/2, 2 1/4, and 3 inches. And like I said, we're going to score it on all four sides. We're just going to rotate this and score on all four sides. Once we have that done, on two sides, just doesn't matter which side because they're all equal, we're going to score only up until the second score line. On the left side, we're going to score at 3 3/4 inches. So I'm going to bring this in a little bit closer so you can see what I mean. So here it is at, this is the 3 3/4 inch mark, and I scored only up until the second score line. On this end, you will score at 8 1/4 up until the second score line, and you will do the exact same thing on the opposite side. And there you have it. So once again, 3 3/4 of an inch and 8 1/4 on only the two opposing sides. All right, the next step is some sections that we have to cut away. So this is the section with the score lines up until the second score line. Well, we're going to remove just this section for now. So it's the square that has the 4 smaller squares, so 4 over and 4 in. So we're going to remove that on all 4 sides. Okay, so I'm going to stop, and then I'll return when I have those removed. Okay, when you're done removing your squares, this is what it should look like. Okay, so we have to do one more cut, and that is on the sections that we scored up to the second score line. So I'm going to flip it around, and I'm going to show you exactly what you have to remove. Okay, so you're going to cut up into the second score line, okay, and then you're going to angle this and cut it this way. So you have that. Oh, I hope it's focused. Okay, I'm going to do one more to this side. So cut it up into the second score line, and on this left side I always have trouble, so I'm going to turn it and cut it away this way. Alright, and you're going to do the same thing on the other side. Second score line, and then angle it and cut that away. Okay, so that's what the two sides should look like. Okay, this is what this should look like. What we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and burnish all our score lines, and just go ahead and fold them and use your bone folder to make these nice crisp folds. Okay. On this side I like to fold it in half like this, and then fold it up, and since the paper's kind of thick, it's nice to get that flat, have that flat, nice and flat, and because we're going to add adhesive to all 4 sections. So go ahead and do that, and then I'll get back with you. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add adhesive to all the 4 flaps. And what I have done is I've added it right below the score line of each section, just right below the score line. And we're going to do the angled sections first. We're going to glue those down first. So what you want to do is you want to fold this in half, okay, because there's 1, there's 2, so you're going to fold this in half. This is the part I have trouble explaining, so I hopefully I can get my point across and my instructions correctly. So you just fold it in half, remove the backing of your adhesive, and press it down. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Fold this flap in half, remove the protective backing, and fold it over, and just burnish it so it stays nice and flat. Okay, so now when you open this up, you have your little tunnels and the beginning of your dimensional shadow box. Alright, so now we're going to do these other sides. Fold that in half. Okay, hold these 2 pieces down, remove the backing, okay. I'm going to pause for just a second and then come back. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I do it correctly, and if I don't, I can edit it. So, okay, or remove that clip. Okay, so I removed the backing from that, and I'm adhering it down, and that's what you should come up with. Okay, so I'm going to do the other side. Fold it up and adhere it. So now all these pieces should interlock together. So I'm going to just lift this up. That folds in there, that folds in there, and the other 2 seem to fall into place. And that is your shadow box. Whew, I made it. Now you can add glue under here and glue these pieces together so that they're nice sharp corners, or you can do what I did on my shadow box. The piece that we removed, all I did was I cut 2 squares, And since you have your score line already, you can just fold it. Let's just kind of even this out. And then instead of gluing mine here, there is a little bit of a gap at the top. And what I did was I ended up adding a piece right at each corner and secured it that way, and that way I don't have to glue it here. So that is my shadow box tutorial. I hope I explained everything correctly, and I hope you give it a try. If you like this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up, and thanks everyone for watching. Take care.